Mr Jeffries is a teaching assistant. He supports children in class and prepares materials for lessons. He always knew he wanted to be a TA, so after finishing his A-levels, he went straight into work. All he needed was some work experience, GCSEs, maths and English, and a high standard of spoken English.
When he started, Mr Jeffries was paid $15,000 a year. He has now been working for 5 years and has had a pay rise to $18,000. He is hoping to be trained by the school as a higher level teaching assistant, which would increase his pay to $23,000, but it would also cost him or the school a lot of money to be trained.
Mr Jeffries believes the relationship within a classroom are very important for TAs. This allows the children to be comfortable working in groups and one-to-one with him, maintaining concentration and developing their learning. Mr Jeffries and Mrs Hutchinson, the classroom teacher, also have good communication and a strong relationship. They discuss the lessons at the beginning of the day and the debrief at the end. Mrs Hutchinson thinks this has reduced her stress and enabled her to spend more time planning effective and engaging lessons. As a result, both Mr Jeffries and Mrs Hutchinson have a higher job satisfaction rate compared to the national average, which meant they were happier and more effective facilitators of learning, and the attainment of the class on average improved.
Mrs Hutchinson believed that this close relationship may be thanks to the training she received after Ofsted published a report that found that the presence of teaching assistants can improve the quality of teaching. She was astounded by the impact good relationships and collaborative planning had on pupils' attainment, and decided to integrate allocated planning for feedback time with Mr Jeffries and deploy him with a range of pupils, not just SEN or low attainment. She was aware of the negative impact TAs can have on attainment and progress, as often TAs are these people's main learning facilitators, modifying lessons to suit their needs with few opportunities to liaise with the classroom teacher. Mrs Hutchinson and Mr Jeffries know that this is bad practice.
If Mr Jeffries had lived during the 1980s to 1990s, he would have been thought of as non-teaching staff, as his role was purely ancillary. However, nowadays, Mr Jeffrey can have a teaching role, meaning there are many similarities between himself and the class teacher. Mr Jeffries understands that through training and sufficient supervision, he can make a difference to pupil achievement. Mr Jeffries works predominantly with the children in his class, however he knows that much work is still needed on his effective deployment to ensure all his tasks are beneficial. The time Mr Jeffries spends interacting with the children exceeds the time he spends assisting the class teacher or the school environment.
Let's fly Mr Jeffries over to Finland. Finland are ranked 5th in the international PISA rankings, while England is 15th. Finnish classes have a maximum of 20 pupils, and the key focus for TAs is child development, not reducing the workload of the teacher. The TAs focus on ensuring all children make significant progress, putting learning at the heart of every individual, whereas in the English system, some children slip under the radar. One of the biggest differences is that in Finland, TAs are required to have 40 study weeks of training before becoming qualified, while in England only 2 are needed.
Mr Jeffries has observed within his school that due to some TA's nature they have facilitated learned helplessness. Learned helplessness is explained through Seligman's dog's experiment, where a dog was kept in a cage and every time he attempted to escape, he would get an electric shock. He then learnt to be helpless and stopped attempting to escape, even when there was no electric shock on the gate. Mr Jeffries saw this convert into school life where children rely heavily on the TA, often refusing to do any work without their assistance, as they have grown to fear the idea of working alone and believe they are unable to do so. Often these children come under the umbrella of lower ability. Mr Jeffries, however, can see that this is easy to solve and carries his advice out. By peeling away from groups during activities, allowing them to attempt work by themselves before offering help, he also ensures that he varies who he helps.
Let's look at the bigger picture. All this could be seen as a cycle where TAs are currently expensive but not very effective. If we were to increase training, this may improve effectiveness, as shown by the countries. However, this would be more expensive due to training fees and potential salary rises. HRTAs are currently the only support staff within schools who require additional training and are paid $23,000, more than newly qualified teachers. So if training was necessary for all, salaries for TAs would rise, but also possibly teachers, since a distinction in salary may still need to be made. This could result in less TAs being hired by schools due to lack of funding, and therefore turning to less qualified support staff, which starts the cycle again. One way to end this could be to train teaching assistants in school, making the content specific to the school and individual needs of the students, staff and community. It could also help develop staff relationships and reduce additional costs, since only the TAs being trained would need to be paid for their time, as teachers and senior members of staff would most likely conduct the training are often paid an inclusive salary of additional days, and it could take place on school premises to save money on hiring a venue.
Mr. Jeffries approves.